Good evening, grotty people, and welcome to a Sanguinius Paints live stream. Thank you for tuning in. Jason, Jason Trump, did your PC explode? We shall probably never know because you wouldn't be able to answer if it had. Mine probably will in a bit. We'll find out. It's not the most reliable laptop in the world. It's doing all right. It's a couple of years old now. So today I'm going to be doing the most exciting painting ever in that I've got some stuff. There's my laser destroyer. I've got some Terminators here. And if we get bored, I've got a couple of custodians that need doing. And what we're going to be doing is, initially anyway, just blacking out all the detail. So you can all keep me company while I do always the most boring part of any job, which is painting everything black that's not red or gold in the case of the Terminators. Sorry, in the case of the custodians. So I've got my new brush. Check this out, size 6. It's the world's largest brush for miniature painting. Look, it's actually bigger than his head. Zoom in a little bit. I think I spooked Dariden with the exploding computer, and JT Money had to move to his phone. So, dangerous thing countdowns. So I've literally just got a blob of black, and I'm just going to be working my way around and blacking out all the detail. It's the more exciting than watching the laser head going back and forth, turning out more dice. Are you making some cool custom dice though? Many years ago, I used to build lasers, and I used to quite like watching them slowly cut something. They weren't like cool lasers, they were kind of XY cutting lasers, ones people use for engraving or cutting acrylic. Necromunda custom set for a customer, that sounds wicked. Zach, if you're on the BAC Discord, hit me up, will you? Because I know a man who's looking for some custom dice. I hate doing this stage, but it really is quite important. Just work around and paint everything that's red. Sorry, that's not red, black. You'll all have to let me know if the sound is okay, if I've got the music at the right volume, etc. I've had to tweak it a little bit because I've got some new headphones and I don't know that I've got them set up right. My old ones finally gave up the ghost and I've treated myself to a new pair. What do you think of the battle forces? I don't think I saw you weigh in on the back Discord. I did, but only very gently. They're a funny thing because to me they don't feel like they're aimed at us. They feel like they're aimed at someone looking for My First Army at Christmas. Because every one of them's got some kind of special character that you've got absolutely no need for more than one of. The exception, I suppose, is the Knight one because their special character can be built as a non-special character. And they're not necessarily optimal kind of competitive units, but I don't mind that, if I'm honest. I think we make too much out of competitive. And I don't know about you guys, but if I bought one of those, if I got it now, there's absolutely no way I'd have the contents ready to actually play with until 10th edition come out. And in 10th edition, maybe heavy intercessors absolutely kick ass. Maybe tactical war suits are the thing to have. And Reavers are the best unit in the Codex. So I don't mind that they're not particularly competitive because who knows, they might be by the time I painted them. But I don't like the fact that they've got special characters in them, so I just don't need them. It's like the Custodes one, I'd buy it, except for I've got no need for yet another Trajan Valoris. I still might get the Thousand Suns one because I don't have Magnus. And maybe even the Imperial Fist one because I don't have any heavy intercessors. Zach Force aimed at whatever they had too many sprues of. Big stuff. Maybe. But if I'm honest, I don't think so. They do feel tailored, you know. The Imperial Fist one has got a shitload of Primaris bolters, big bolters. The Raven Guard is all Phobos shit. So I don't think that they're not thought out. I just think that they're not competitive, and that's not quite the same thing. I know people are saying about the Adeptus Mechanicus one is not competitive, but at the same time it looks awesome. It's like, let's make a box of all their coolest looking stuff. Because those various servitors are awesome. It's all the cool ones. It really all just comes down to how much they cost, doesn't it? Because if they're a decent discount as well, so you can afford to get them because you want a big box of cool models, or as an army you want to start, then they're going to be a lot better value than if not. It didn't feel like old players to bolster their piles of shame. Yeah, I don't think it is. I'm convinced it's to get new players in for Christmas. You know, little Timmy wants to collect Raven Guard. Mummy, buy me the special Raven Guard box. And then regret your life because nobody needs 10 Reavers. Ah, cheers for subscribing, Prometheus. You are very welcome. I think that might be the first time that that's popped up in a stream, so thank you for letting me know that works. Possibly my favourite line from Dawn of War. I'm thinking Custodes, I lack troops and been using stand-ins, or Death Guard would be a cool third army. Your thoughts? I think both of them are wicked. I actually think the Custodes one, apart from Alarus that had a bit of a nerf, but if they undo those nerfs, Alarus is suddenly going to come right back. And then that's a really pretty decent army at the moment. You can't go wrong with a shitload of Custodian Guard, a few bikes, a deep striking squad of Alaris you can run in singles. Trajan Valoris is a bit overcosted now, but he's still very good. So yeah, that's a wicked one. And the Death Guard one looked pretty cool as well. And like I say, I've got my eye on the 1,000 Sun ones. It feels almost like what the 1,000 Suns start collecting should be, which is a shitload of rubrics and some sorcerers. Because to start collecting 1,000 Suns is weird with all those Zangor that are just useless. It's like the Death Guard box with all the bloody Poxwalkers. What the hell are you going to do with all those Poxwalkers? So these boxes actually feel a lot better for getting started with the army. Because when you get started, you're never going to be competitive to begin with anyway. You've got to lose your first few games so you can learn how the army works. Could also mean the scalpels are going to be called off. Yeah, maybe. Dave Pikey, I was a fan of the Nundown Wing Sisters box. Yeah, it looked wicked, didn't it? My Sisters of Battle have more or less sat in a box for the whole of 9th edition. I played them a lot when they got their new codex in 8th, but then I think I've played them like twice in 9th. I really didn't like the range refresh, to be honest. I liked the Nundams. I thought they were cool. But with a lot of the models, I much prefer the old metal ones. The new ones are just weirdly ugly. Like, for some reason, Sisters of Battle all have to look really ugly now. And I don't get that. Who made that decision? Ugly miniatures. That's not what we want. I mean, the paint jobs don't hurt. Why is the Retributor Sergeant, or whatever she is, Sister Superior, got a 5 o'clock shadow? I mean, I'm all for inclusion, but that just looks weird. They're really strong now, but you're right, their faces are but ugly. That's the problem. I'd end up having to build the whole lot of them. I actually genuinely have to use a slightly smaller brush. Size 6 might be too big. I'll go to a 2. I'd end up building the whole lot with helmets on. Some of them are worse than others. The Sister Hospitalia is just really weird. Just not Sisters for me. Maybe I'm too old-fashioned. The original kind of 2nd edition Codex art is what I think of when I think of Sisters of Battle. So much so that when I was there the other day with Mark and AM Pewty and Catapult from the Discord were there with us as well, I actually bought that old bit of 2nd edition art. Bloody hell, they're expensive. It was 35 quid, that bit of art was. Oh, camera's not liking that. It's the SOB equivalent of Nuns on the Run. Yeah, it is. The old John Blanche one, yeah, absolutely, that piece of art. With the kind of mad hair, the skull boobs, all that sort of thing. That's how I think of Sisters of Battle to me. I've made a fuck up. I've tidied it up in a bit. There's so much detail on these Terminators. They are cool, but they are very busy. It was a lot of the old mad John Blanche artwork that got me into 40k in the first place. Living Ghost, is the new Bile Red good? Yes, it is. I don't know how well you can see. It's a little bit dark. I need to try and get a bit more light over this. But this was actually the new Bile Red over a kind of grayscale sketch. I really like it. In fact, all of these guys, so there's a Terminator Sergeant, this is all that new Bile Red over a grayscale. Yes, I really like it. I used to use a more crimson ink, and that gives it a darker colour. So I used the darker one for things like incursors. But these guys, we're not worried about the stealthiness. I'm just splattering that Bile Red all over them. Dave Pikey, I have an old Mark Gibbons Dark Angels print from the old Dark Angels of Death Codex. Oh, that's wicked. Which one? Zach Force, is that the Blind Box Hero Terminators? No, this is the Blood Angels specific Assault Terminators box. Apart from this guy, who you haven't seen yet, who's one of the guys out of Space Hulk that I got online, to be honest, because I wanted the Space Hulk Terminators. With that new Into the Dark or Boarding Action or whatever it is, the one with the spaceships, it just felt time to try and build a bit of a Space Hulk style Blood Angels group. So I've been digging out as many Terminators as I can to get painted up in time to use on that. I'm going to go back to the bigger brush. What airbrush would you recommend for a complete beginner to airbrushing? I wouldn't worry too much about the airbrush. The things I would look for... I'll just grab mine. The things I would look for are you want gravity fed. You want double action, so that means you press it in for... airflow and you pull it back for paint flow. So double action, gravity fed. Everything else I wouldn't worry too much about for your first airbrush. I would try and get a decent compressor with a tank. The I think AS186, cheap Chinese ones, there's loads of brands sell them. Some of them sell them under their own name, but still the same compressor. But it's got a tank on it, and you'll find that makes a lot more of a difference than a decent airbrush. And then if you bugger it up, it doesn't matter because it's just cheapy. And the airbrush will last forever. Sorry, the tank will last for a while. So that's my recommendation. Any old one, as long as it's gravity fed, double action, and get a reasonable compressor and not one of those stupid little box ones you get from Amazon, 50 quid. You're better off with a set of dry brushes than that. I miss those regiment unit boxes like the BA Tax. Yeah, I do as well. They were awesome. How do we fit the BA Sangard wings in a Space Hulk? We don't. That's why we're making Terminators. Blood Angels Assault Terminators are older than Sangard. So if you want to be fluffy, you know where it's at. Terminators all the way. Maybe I'll do a unit of Death Company Terminators. When I first started playing Blood Angels, you used to have to worry about that, because occasionally one of your Terminators would fall to the Black Rage during the Death Company, and you'd lose a 40-point model. And then you would be sad times. You would be super salty if you lost one of your Terminators to become the Death Company. And you'd be super pleased if you lost the Tactical Marine, so I kind of evened out, I suppose. I killed like 6 airbrushes learning. Oh dear, what did you do to them? I mean, that's my second airbrush that I've had, but it's still lasted me a good few years. A2 scopes. Yeah, Terminators. Aridane Death Company Terminators would be cool. I think they'd look quite badass, actually. Trying to decide what to do with this shield. I have to come back to it, I think, when I've made my mind up. Hey Foz, welcome to the stream, mate. Jason Trump, the wife likes fluffy, but not the idea of me buying more plastic. Yeah, mine's the same, mate. I turn my tax into Van Vets with wing jump packs. Pretty wicked. Remember when you deep strike them all into a wall and you die? You have to roll the scatter dice and pray it didn't roll something bad. I was young and dumb. No, you were young and reckless, and that was cool. Blue Force Shield. Oh, yeah. Because I'm going to do a blue Thunderhammer. Can I do a blue one? That's not a silly idea, that. If I did the rim just blue, that could look awesome. Let's give that a go. You might have just come up with the best idea ever, Foz, or it might be a terrible idea and I regret ever speaking to you, so we're going to find out. Syntax, greetings, done with the Grots, I see. Yeah, we did those. They are done, although I have bought myself a troll to add to them, which is sitting behind me waiting paint. Someone was taking the piss out of me the other day for the size brush that I like to use. I always use the biggest brush that I can fit in the hole. I just think it's easier to get smoother blends. Regret ever talking harsh. We'll see how they turn out, Foz. You might be the best person in the world, but there's only one way to find out. Syntax, paint some Terminators. Yeah, well, I've got a load of these Terminators that need blacking out. I've got the Laser Destroyer that needs blacking out. And then I've got a couple of Custodians. I'm working... This isn't really for the channel or anything, it's just because I wanted to. This is Constantin Valdor. And then on top of that, I've also got Valerian here, who needs blacking out. Jason Trump, that needs clipped. I always use the biggest brush I can fit in the hole. Sometimes you got to work at it, yeah? It's tempting to use only a little one, but actually, if you can cope with it, always use a big one. You won't regret it. Nobody ever regrets going big. Which is why I don't understand. If I was going to make a brush set, so let's say that someone from Artist Opus called me up and said, right, Tony, you do a lot of painting. What would you want to see in a set of brushes that we offered? It wouldn't have like 900 tiny brushes in it, because what the hell would you need them all for? Because if you've got a good brush, you can paint anything you like. The tip on this is enough that if I really needed to, I could be painting eyeballs with it. But it holds more paint, so it doesn't dry on the brush. So you'll get a smoother finish. I reckon you need one big one, maybe a size 6, maybe go size 5, it's a little bit more versatile. Then probably a 2, a 1, and then maybe a size 0 for doing the really, really tiny bits, and then call it a day. Two Scoots, where are the Primaris heads? Or does the Sergeant still get a normal head? The Primaris heads are in the bits box. And when I finally get with Mark up to John's, I'm going to melt that little bastard Terminator with a Primaris head. And I'm going to film it and put it on the channel. I was actually building some Terminators earlier today. They're cool. Phase 1 of the all Terminator Death Guard army is almost complete. Gonna order 2 Land Raiders tomorrow. Ouch. Yeah, your poor wallet. Jason, less hair means it's cheaper, so it makes it look like better value. Yeah, absolutely. It's like, oh, we can sell 5 brushes. Yeah, but it's 5 brushes, but you probably only need 3 of them out of that packet. So it's terrible value. Whose brush is it? It's mine. You probably said earlier, but what make of brushes are they? Ah, these are Artist Opus Series S. I'm using at the moment. I'm not particularly brand loyal. They're just quite convenient to get hold of in the UK, and I like them. I've got stacks and stacks of brushes of loads of different brands. Some I've liked and some I haven't liked, and it's not necessarily a mark of how good the brush is. It's just they have to fit with your style. And my style is a little bit idiosyncratic. It's I like quite long bristles. I like a big belly on them. So, for example, the Artis Opus Series M have quite short, stiff bristles, which I know gives you more precision, but I don't like the way they feel. And for my style of painting, which is generally quite quick, I do a lot of wet blending on the go. I don't find they work as well. But if you're someone like, let me think, who's them? Richard Gray. He uses Series M. He likes the stiff bristles. I like a big floppy one, nice and long. Innuendos keep on coming today. Yes, this really is personal preference with these sorts of things. These are all right. The price is high, but it's acceptable for what I pay for brushes. My previous ones were the Squidmar ones, which are actually Da Vinci, really. And they were quite good, but my favourites are the really old heavy metal ones they used to sell. And I think they were OEM'd by Da Vinci as well. Carter, what's up? Wicked. Lovely to see you here. I mean, who doesn't have like 30 Assault Intercessors? I've probably got more than that. They seem to be coming out my ears. That abomination truly deserves to get destroyed. I'm going to melt it. It's going to meet a flamer. Like an actual flamer. I really only use my number 1 Da Vinci for 95% of my painting. Don't think I'll ever use my 00 brush. Exactly that. So, you know, I've got that number 6, but sometimes I might use my number 5. I've got a size 1, a size 2, and then there's a size 0, but I rarely use it. And those 4 brushes are all I really need. And I could probably, to be honest, ditch one of these as well. I could probably maybe lose the 2. There you go, 3 brush set. That'll get you going. 3 good brushes can do anything you need them to do. Save your money, buy some paint and models. Save up and buy an airbrush, that'll do you. Airbrushes are wicked. Or some dry brushes, but even then you can get away with makeup brushes. I do have a nice set of dry brushes, but I do acknowledge that I probably could have got away with makeup brushes. If you are interested in hobby stuff, it's not announced yet, but Thursday's Grot episode is us talking hobby equipment. And I'm not going to lie, I went off on a bit of a rant and I talked through all of my different tools and that and why I like them. And I think John and Mark were like incredibly bored. Because I love gear. Was it gear acquisition syndrome? But I've got hundreds of different paints and tools and things like that. I've actually just kickstarted the TT Combat are releasing their own range of paints on the Kickstarter. And they were quite reasonably priced. I don't know if they're going to be any good, but they were reasonably priced. And I thought, bugger it. So I've kickstarted the whole set of those. So when they come next year, I'll do a review for the channel. And we'll see how they are. Always excited to try some new paints. I'll print you a blowtorch head to look like a melter gun. That would be awesome. Oh, hello, you're going to come back in focus for us? Thank you. I like a big floppy one, nice and long. The Monument Hobbies brushes are awesome. So I've heard the Monument Hobbies brushes are really good, but they're really hard to get in the UK. We've started to get Monument paint, but the brushes haven't really come over here. I've heard a lot of people really like the Broken Toad ones as well, but again, they're quite stiff bristled. As are the Windsor and Newton ones. They've got what they call a guide hair in the middle, and I just find it annoying because I always find the paint dries on that hair. And nobody likes a dry tip. Nobody likes a dry tip. Lord, check your Discord messages for the brush I like to use. I'll have a look, Carter. Hang on, I'll check it now. Ah, yeah, Da Vinci. Size 5, yeah. I think those Da Vinci brushes are excellent value for money. They're really quite good. Maybe buy a wet palette instead too for waste less paint. Yeah, absolutely. I've got the XL Red Grass one and I love it. Although, if I'm honest, the reusable membranes, take those or leave them. In fact, I'll try and get hold of some of the other ones because I end up throwing them away half the time anyway. My dry brushes are my wife's old makeup brushes. Yeah, they're great. Once you've cleaned all the powder out of them so that they're not full of makeup, they work really well for that. Blush brushes are wicked dry brushes. Yeah, definitely. In my opinion, a really nice pair of clippers is a great investment. You can get away with cheap ones, but the higher quality brands cut through plastic like butter. Yeah, I completely agree with you, Syntax. Mine are these Red Grass ones. I've had them for about 2 years now, but I've used them a lot in that time. And they've been brilliant. And they're still brilliant. And when they're beginning to get a little bit blunt, but when the sheer number of things that I paint with them, I cut with them, it's hardly surprising. And I'm going to probably replace them with another pair. I might go with Tamiya or Godhand next, but that's not anything against these. It's just whatever I can get for the best price, to be honest. Right, I think I'm just... Oh, no. Come on, camera, stay focused. Thank you. I'm zooming out a little bit, see if that makes it work a bit better. I'm starting to build my 30k Blood Angels. I got the box set in Frontline Gaming. We kind enough to hook me up with a Sakaran tank, some extra Terminators. Wicked. Very nice. My box set's up there. I need to get on with it. All those Cataphracti are going to be joining these guys to make my boarding action Blood Angels Space Hulk army. I'm going to get some Terminator characters painted up as well, so that I can run an all Terminator army, which I think will be wicked. I don't care how competitive it is, I think it will look awesome. I'm getting too far off the screen again, aren't I? I like this stream is going to start a new thread called Tony's Innuendos. There isn't enough space in the Discord for all of my terrible innuendos. Dave Pikey recommending the God Hands. I might go with those. -5. I don't know if I'd recommend using clippers to paint. Probably not. They would be somewhat tricky. Nipex for cutters every time. I abuse mine, cutting and pinning wire and everything. Bloody hell. I've got a pair of wire cutters I use for cutting wire. And I've got a pair of very old Games Workshop clippers that I use for cutting resin and the occasional metal miniature. They're abused to hell, they are. They've got so many chips and dents in them. And they're still probably better than the new Games Workshop ones, where they thought it was okay to sell nippers that were only sharp on one side. Maybe they thought if you buggered up your models, you'd be more inclined to buy another one. By the way, Tony, after watching Grots' video on Crusade, I really want to focus on that instead of competitive. Tempted to go with Hector with a Deathwatch army just for cool factor. Yeah, it'd be wicked. I love Crusade. I almost exclusively play Tempest or Crusade at the moment, because I just wasn't having fun with competitive. And I absolutely don't regret it. They weren't cheap, but I've had them longer than I've played 40k. Alright, they're doing alright then. Unless you've only been playing 40k for a week, and then they would be doing terribly. But I'm making the assumption by the inference that you've been playing 40k for some time. I hate this stage. It's so dull. I'm just going around and blacking out all the detail. And it takes ages. But it needs to be done. And there's 5 more Terminators to do after this. And a tank. And a couple of custodes. Because these guys have got so much detail on them. Ooh, nearly there. Right. Eye time. Right, watch me fuck this right up. Right, 1 Terminator done. Oh, I might leave some. I might do the. Let's do this. Oh, that's going to take ages. Let's do another Terminator. Let's break it up a little bit. Right, what have I been missing? I picked up 30k because I don't like competitive play anymore. Yeah, I don't blame you. I've got the 30k book. I posted shilling the Element link on Saturday saying about how I've got the Custodes book. I have got the Custodes book for 30k because that's exactly that reason. I brought Necrons on the army drop. Nice. +1 on Crusade. Well, pierogies are done cooking. Nice. Love a dumpling. Got to go feed the kids. Have a good night, everyone. Let me know if the blue shield works out or not. I'll send you a picture, Foz. Just because I'm curious, what's the most expensive model you own? Yeah, definitely the Thunderhawk. I've got a couple of super heavies, but the Thunderhawk is the most ridiculous. I've got my eye on a Mastodon. I think even that's actually a bit cheaper than the Thunderhawk. And there's an Ares gunship with my name on it somewhere as well. Thunderhawk fancy. Yeah, absolutely. I love it. It's my favourite model. It took so long to paint. At least it's not like the old metal one. You can break the table putting it down so hard. I broke the original metal one. Quite literally, the original handmade metal one that they took to Games Day, which they used to make all the subsequent metal ones, used to live in the Ultramarines display, which was the whole Ultramarines chapter at Warhammer World. And as a young man, I broke it. You used to have a tour guide when you went round Warhammer World, and the tour guide asked me if I wanted to hold the Thunderhawk, and I did. And I was surprised at how heavy it was, so I dropped it. And because it was just metal and it wasn't pinned, it exploded into many, many pieces. So the original Thunderhawk was actually destroyed by me. I assume they repaired it in the end, but yeah. I dropped it and smashed it. And they still let you back. A buddy of mine broke the table at LGS with his, and it was banded. They do, but there was a gap between me going, and I still wonder if they know, or if they realise that I was the one who broke it. So one day I intend to take my current one there and play a game. But the problem with the Thunderhawk that nobody really thinks about, there's two. One, how do you transport the bastard thing? And two, how do you store it? It doesn't fit in my display cabinet. It doesn't seem to fit anywhere. I'm currently looking at a terrarium, a coffee table terrarium, that might be big enough to hold the Thunderhawk, because at the moment it's just on my sideboard, which looks cool, but it's not exactly safe, and it gets a lot of dust on it on there. Because it won't fit in a cabinet. It won't even fit on a shelf. It's not something they warn you about when you buy one of those stupid models. Because I've always fancied a Warlord, but God knows what I'd do with it. Set it in AB foam mouldings and in a tool case. Yeah, you've got to do something like that with it. If I did it again, I'd be clever about it, and I'd mount big brass rods across the whole width of it so that I could take the wings on and off. Because my wings are pinned on, they're not coming off for anything. But if I can make it with detachable wings, that'd be a lot easier to manage. Old Sony 2 TV should keep it safe. If I had an old Sony 2 TV, I'd use it for all my old consoles. I'd use it for light gun games. You want to try fun, try and keep three small children away from a Reaver. Yeah, that's exactly the problem that I'm going to have. There are so many gubbins on this guy, it's ridiculous. So there's more greebles on this guy than there are on my custodians. Should I buy Valdor or a Telemon? The good thing about Valdor is his base size is the same as a standard shield captain, so you can use him as a shield captain in 40k. The good thing about Telemon is it's a fucking Telemon. I went with 2 Telemons and a Valdor. I've been considering buying an Aeronautica Imperialis Thunderhawk, just so I can tell people I own a Thunderhawk gunship. I'll just conveniently forget to mention which scale. I actually haven't got the Aeronautica Thunderhawk, and I quite want one, but they're quite expensive for such a tiny ship. Tony, you got any snow yet this year? Not yet though, mate. It's a bit early in the year for us. We've had a little bit of frost just started to show its head. But yeah, it's a bit early for snow for us. It's getting down to about 4 or 5 degrees, I suppose, at the moment. We're probably not far off. Oh, apparently I forgot to turn off my compressor. Trick is get an FDM printer and print solid plastic versions as decoys. Yeah, that'd work. You could make like toy versions for the kids. Although you might encourage them to play with Reavers then and they might get confused. Yeah, today I was at 26 degrees C, and the weekend they're calling for dusting of snow. That sounds mad, Jason. Where are you living, mate? Carter, KK, I'm back. Welcome back, Carter. You've mostly missed talk of Thunderhawk metas. I think it was the Texas Open recently where somebody took two Astraeus and a Thunderhawk and won about half their games, which was pretty impressive. You know, I don't own two Astraeus, but seeing that army in play is making me want to own two Astraeus. because I am all about the silly models. The old exposure's all over the place, isn't it? I think I need to get some more lights. I printed a solid plastic brick of a lemon rust you could beat someone's head in with. That's pretty... You sure it wasn't just the actual lemon rust? Because that thing's a chonk. Somewhere I've got a couple of old Forge World resin lemon russes, and Jesus Christ, you could kill a man with that. Jason Trump in the States in North Carolina. Oh, nice place to live. I've been Googling a little. I was hoping to find an article or something about you breaking that Thunderhawk. Sadly, there doesn't seem to be anything. I'm not surprised, Syntax. Back when I broke that Thunderhawk, Games Workshop was a pokey little company frequented only by nerds. There you go, look, Jason Trump. You see how old Tony is? They didn't have a letterpress going around. Yeah, it's pretty much like that. There certainly wasn't a Warhammer community or really the internet when I did that. Because this would have been probably about 97 or 98. That's badass. I think I should get one of those old school ones, the Tank Commander. They look wicked. They used to do a whole range of Forge World turrets. From different Forge Worlds, and they used to look awesome. But they've all over the years slowly disappeared off of Forge World. Makes me feel how old I am when I think about when it was that I broke that Thunderhawk, because I've been doing this now for nearly 30 years. And that's a pretty long time. I was 8 when I entered my first painting competition. And I did that with my first ever miniature, which is one of those really old push-fit Space Marines where you push the bolter straight onto his hands. Long time ago. Run out of paint. So is anybody else doing any hobby tonight, or is it just me slowly blacking out miniatures? Regretting my life choices. Next time you go to Warhammer World, you have to tell the employees that you were responsible for the infamous Thunderhawk incident of 97-98. I will do. But last time I went to Warhammer World, there was a lot of employees there that didn't look like they were born in 97-98. I'm shaking off the rust on using Illustrator and Final Cut Pro. Yeah, I need to do that. Not on Final Cut because I never knew how to use that, but Illustrator I used to use a lot, and now I've completely lost the skill. I'm slowly painting guard between laser shots. Nice. I'm doing some overlays and making border templates. See if I can't come up with a little something something. Actually, I don't know why I'm being careful with that. The shoulder pad's supposed to be black. There's a decent cross section on here. Are any of you guys into Necromunda? I'm just starting a new Necromunda campaign, and I haven't played Necromunda since old Necromunda. And I've picked up the Enforcers because they looked wicked. And everyone now is telling me that I'm going to regret my life decisions because apparently they're terrible. Then everyone also told me that Snotlings were a bad team to play in Blood Bowl, and I loved it. So Syntax isn't doing anything. He's just chilling out. Maxim, relaxing, all cool, all shooting some b-ball outside of the school. Just be careful that a couple of guys from your neighbourhood don't make trouble. The way you said that was so devious. Hey. Nah, just into vampires. Once they are dead, that's a whole other fetish. Fair enough. Nobody judges, man. Well, actually, everybody judges. They just pretend not to. But vampires are cool. I keep thinking about picking up that Vampire Underworlds gang. But I own a few Underworlds gangs, but I've never played Underworlds. I just like the models. All I know about Necromunda is they recently released a guy with a chainsaw mohawk. Everything about that is awesome. Not really terrible, just less involved and less favour than a house gang. But they've got cool models. They're nice if you're the Arbiter. They have some good tools for balancing the scales. Well, that sounds pretty good. Now, your camera's also focusing. Anyway, just set the aperture wide and be done with it. I could do, I suppose. It gets a bit funny because it's yeah. I don't know why it's not enough light, I think. Because if I set it to single focus, it just keeps on every time I move, it goes out of focus. I'm not the world's best camera expert. I bought a decent camera, but I'd be lying if I said I was an expert at using it. I think I've got it set to auto aperture at the moment. I'll have a play with it, but unfortunately it won't let me play with it while it's turned on. So I'll have to turn off the camera. Oh, sorry, I'll have to adjust it, then turn it off, then turn it back on again. And that could be a pain in the arse. There's no in my luck, it won't come back on. I think this one's got so much gilt on it, I think it will look funny if I don't know. Mr. Herb, now I'm cleaning up some older salt marines I first built in primary school 20 odd years ago. There are some older salt marines. Are they the old metal ones or cover up the words? Yes, let's get the words covered back up. I've just noticed they've come back out of view. There we go. Well spotted. Luckily he's Loctite at the time, so he can pop the arms off quite easily. Yeah, it does. I didn't notice they'd come undone. That's what these two pieces of white paper are doing. Because I was using my cutting mat and it kept on thinking that I wanted to look at the grid. Which was a bit annoying. I think I saw Miniac had this big roll of black paper and he was just rolling it out across the whole desk, and I think I'll try and do that. Just find someone that does sort of black sugar paper by the roll. So I can just pull it across the whole desk. Because using little bits of A4 paper is a bit ghetto. And as you've spotted, they have a habit of moving without me noticing. Best solution is light and wide aperture, f6 or something super wide. Won't be as sharp, but it's going to make a difference. Won't have to worry about focusing then. I'll give it a bash. I know I need to get some more light on here, but the only other light I've got one that they're bloody battery powered and they kept running out halfway through the stream. Which was a right pain in the arse. I need to buy a big softbox or something. But it feels like every time I sort one problem out, another one rears its head. Yeah, the current thing is the sound in here is terrible. And I don't really want to put a load of acoustic panelling on the walls. And the other day when we were at Warhammer World and out and about, recording was a bit of a faff. So I'm looking at getting some lavalier microphones, but a decent set of lavalier microphones. Again, you're looking at sort of 250 quid. Adds up. Because I'm in no way a pro. I enjoy the streams and I enjoy the channel, but it is a hobby. Syntax problem just seemed to do that. Yeah, I know, and I try not to moan too much. Get a dust filter on that mic and run a compressor gate. Easy peasy. There is one on there. If you remember back, I released a video on the Age of Darkness box set, and I forgot to limit, or I had the gate up really high for streaming, and it sounded fucking awful because I forgot to turn it off when I recorded that whole video. And I think I've got the gate not too far off now. It's all right. It can't cope with the compressor when that kicks in. But yeah, I've got an expander, a noise gate, and a compressor on it to try and get the sound as balanced as I can. Although I'm only using software ones because I can't be asked to get all the rack mount gear out just for that. And a lot of it's at work. Now there was the plastic kit from 3rd edition. I remember that kit. I like those old Assault Marines. In fact, I don't know that they're necessarily changed. I can't remember. I didn't think the Landspeeder had changed, but it definitely has, because my Landspeeder Tornado's got metal weapons. And I noticed that now it's got plastic ones. Hopefully the picture should be a bit better because I've got a new stand, so the camera is now vertical rather than it was at a bit of an angle. That should have made a difference. That was bugging me that it was at a funny angle. And to have it behind me is just annoying when I'm painting. I tested it on that unboxing video the other day. I don't know, Carter. I've got a dead cat somewhere that should fit it. I'll chuck it on and see what happens. Okay, hobby chat. Best vintage kit. Do you mean audio kit? Because I've got a nice ribbon microphone that I'm rather fond of. Got to go with the Space Hulk Terminators. They are nice. They absolutely are nice. There's mine. I only have that. I've got that one and the Flamer guy. Alice, man, I hope we don't. Sorry, I hope we get Primaris Terminators, especially now they are exploring the whole Space Hulk concept again. I don't know, because I'd love these models, and I think they really hold up well. Just maybe give Terminators a bit of a buff. The fact that they're all relics from the Dark Age of technology, well, not Dark Age, but the Great Crusade era, just makes them cool. Whereas if they're all Primaris, they'll lose a bit of that, I think. We're talking vintage models, it's got to be the old character models. Stuff like Yarick. Tycho. Even Dante. Back when bright colours were cool. Oh, so maybe some of the Orc models as well. Some of the old Orc characters were incredible. So much fun. Getting there. I really hope we get... Original Redemptionists from Old Necromunda. Oh, they were super cool as well. The old guy with the flamethrower chainsaw and stuff like that. I got the Space Hulk box for £130 not long ago. And yeah, I agree. If not Primaris, just updated. I wish I had that Space Hulk box. It came out for its rerun and they had a copy in my local shop and I was a bit tight on cash and I didn't buy it and I still regret that. The thing I like best about the old models is the fun. And I find a lot of the new models, they've tried to go too realistic. And I don't like that look so much. I'm not a kind of super grim dark either. So grim dark was really kind of 3rd edition, 4th edition, maybe up to sort of 7th. And to be honest, that was probably my era. I played a lot of... I used to be hardcore into tournaments during sort of 6th and 7th. But I've always harked back to that 2nd edition style of bright colours, hazard stripes, orcs that used to be fun. And not just bloody miserable. And I do miss some of that. Right, that'll probably do this guy for now. Right, what should I do next? I really wish I could get my hands on a set of Space Hulk Terminators. They're so beautiful. They absolutely are. God. Gideon. Anthony Brown, I kind of expect a more close combat options. Gravis and maybe a Primaris homing beacon. Yeah, quite possibly. Some melee Gravis would be cool. And hello to you as well, Anthony. You can get new Redemptionists, but they're not quite as crazy. Yeah, again, they've gone too serious with it. Bright colours are just more fun to paint. Absolutely they are. I suppose I better keep going with the Terminators for now. Oh, the old Hazard Stripes got a flat surface. Add more stripes. Yeah, absolutely. All of my dreadnoughts and vehicles and all sorts of stuff, I Hazard Stripes everywhere. That's partially because they really annoy Mark, because Mark feels that Hazard Stripes are only for Iron Warriors. And I think he's wrong, because people need to know that stuff is dangerous. So talking to the Space Hulk Terminator, I thought I'd get on with him. What's up, Top Grot? I don't know about Top Grot. I think that's probably Mark. He's the organised one. Absolute favourite. Yeah. Can't disagree with you. Pretty sure Blood Angels did the whole Hazard Stripes before even Iron Warriors. It's a weird hill to die on. It might be a weird hill, but I'm still dying on it. The grossiest grot. Certainly the grossiest grot. I work with kids, so it's hardly surprising. Probably the rantiest grot as well. Oh, maybe Mark John, actually, to be honest. Why I love Necromunda, you can wear Hazard Stripes as face paint and it's not out of place. Can't wear Hazard Stripes as face paint. I wish I could justify the close combat Terminator squad, but I have Tercerus with claws and combi bolts already. Oh, I just kicked the stand. Let's upset it. Do you know I haven't got any Tartarus? I've got a load of Cataphracti, and I've got crap loads of these Indomitus pattern ones, but I don't have any Tartarus, and they're on my wish list for Christmas because I really like the models, and I think Combi Bolters and Claws is still a great combo. You guys should set up subs. What do you mean by that, Carter? Tartar sauce. Tartara sauce. It's faster and just a little spicier than your standard sauce. Wonder if that's an advertisement for them. Tartarus pattern Terminators goes better with fish. Space sharks. I will say, although I love these Space Hulk Terminators, they're not the cleanest model ever. There was a lot of cleanup that needed doing on this guy. The mold lines are pretty horrific. Subscription dollars. Oh, you mean for the channel? We've got a Patreon. I'm not going to lie, it's not got the most rewards on it. If you sign up to our Patreon, we'll try and make whatever video you want us to make. And if you've got any good ideas, we'd always listen to you. But to be honest, we tend to listen to people anyway. Really, the Patreon is just for people who want to chuck us a couple of bucks to keep doing what we're doing. I've never really been that worried about monetization because, well, to be honest, I don't really care. I don't mean that in an ungrateful kind of way, but this isn't a job for me. This is, if it got to the point where the channel was self-sustaining and it brought in enough money to buy us the books that we could talk about, maybe the odd thing to review and that sort of thing, then I'd be really happy with that. Now, I'm not talking for everybody, and don't get me wrong, I'd definitely love to retire and be a full-time tuber, but I can't see that happening anytime soon. I think I might upset my students as well, to be honest, because well, then they wouldn't have a physics teacher. But yeah, we're not even monetized. You have to hit 1,000 subs before YouTube will let you monetize. Even things like these streams and that. If you want to do the donate buttons and stuff like that, it doesn't let you do it. How are you folks doing tonight? Chrono, excellent, mate. What's everyone working on? Well, I'm working on Terminators, mostly. I'm going to be making a handout document I can hand my opponent, just tells them what my army does. That's not a bad idea. Kind of prevents any gotcha or bad feeling moments. Done with the dice for now, onto tokens. They'll get over it, just tell them it's all relative. Yeah. Do you reckon you could make us some grotty dice, Zach? Because that'd be wicked to have a set of grotty dice. Maybe we'll do that as a Patreon perk, but mostly because I want to play with grotty dice. almost certainly have a high contrast logo. We don't, but I'm sure I could probably make one. I've still got the original sketches we used to make the logo. So the artist that did the logo, it was just black and white. So I did it. I took the black and white sketches and then I made them into what we've got as our logo. I don't see why I couldn't turn that into something. I'm finishing up a bashed Primaris Tech Marine, making an assault sergeant and finishing my 3rd attack bike. Nice, you got a busy time then. Zach, just did something the other week with sailing boats instead of the normal pips. So I reckon we could do something cool with these. Drop me a DM on Discord and we'll talk it out and we'll see what we can work out between us, because I think that could be quite fun. I'll PM you on Discord. I'm sure between us we can work something up. Yeah, absolutely, Zach. I think we could do something wicked. I can't say if it'll be a regular thing or not, or if it'll be a one-off, but whatever it is, I think it'll be a laugh. And I think it'll be awesome. Done. I would love to have a set for my Grot Kill team. That would be wicked. Chrono, I've recently started converting the Indomitus Blade Guard Ancient into a Sanguinary Priest. Probably might see some tabletop time if you turn it into a Sanguinary Priest. The thing is, I like that model, but it's a Blade Guard that doesn't have a blade. And that to me sounds like the dumbest thing ever. Just give the bastard a sword. Why can't he have a sword? Why is he waving a set of, like, I don't know, finger bone keys or whatever around? Did he leave it at home or? It doesn't have a blade. It is odd. It's just weird. I like his design with the robes and thought it might make a good base for a priest. I think it will make a good base for a priest. Put a blade on the end of the banner like Grey Knight Halberd. Yeah. I'm picking up the old Sang Priest model on Saturday to steal his chalice. The Sang Priest model is quite a nice one. Corbulo's got a good chalice. I don't know if you can find one of those cheap. How are we doing for time? Oh, just about there. What are we feeling about the new Battle Force boxes? I think they're very good if you want to pick up a new faction or if you're a new player. I think that provided the cost is okay, then they could be quite good value. I think the selections of units are very fluffy. And I don't really care about how competitive they are at the moment because by the time I've got them painted, it'll be 10th edition anyway, and God knows. If you remember back to 8th edition, Invicta Tactical Warsuits were the king back in 8th. So, yeah, that's where I am at the moment. I wish they didn't have all the special characters in them so that it was worth picking up for factions that you might already have that character for. Like, for example, Custodes. Load of Custodian Guard is always handy. I've got like 12 or maybe more Alarus anyway, so I don't need any more, but I'm not going to say no. But I have absolutely no need for a second Trajan Valorus. think I'm getting there with this guy. I'm tempted to get the Custodes one. It looks like a really nice set. It's just I've already got Trajan, and I don't need another one. And I don't think he would sell easily enough that that's not an issue. There's a good chance I'll pick up the Thousand Suns one because I don't own Magnus, and I do own a few Thousand Suns. I quite like the Imperial Fist one because I don't own any heavy intercessors. And I might be able to just convert Tor Garadon into something. The Knights one seems excellent value. The Nundam one seems just awesomely silly. The Admech one seems very fluffy. People are moaning it's not that competitive, but who knows what it will be like when 10th rolls round. And those kind of combat servitors are really cool models. The only one that seems a bit weird to me is the Raven Garb one. Because it's the only one, as far as I can tell, that doesn't work as an army. Which just seems a bit weird. And who the hell's going to need that many Reavers? Right, eye time. I also finally get to try out my latest version of my list. I don't want a whole Custodes army, I just want a couple of the bikes, but I haven't found an excuse to own any. They are very cool. Maybe have a look on eBay, because you get them quite cheap. Because people sometimes just want a captain or whatever out of the set. And you can't run a unit of 2 bikes. I realise I've forgotten to do this guy's other eye, so I'm going to do that now as well. There we go. Right, okay, so I've successfully in 2 hours done 3 Terminators, which is not very good going. And I'm disappointed with myself, and as are all of my family. So on that note, it is time for me to start packing up. So if anybody's got any last questions and that, please stick them in the chat. Thanks for watching along with me tonight, guys. It's been a bit of a blast. I always enjoy streaming. I wish I could do it more often. And if you haven't, please subscribe. We are trying to get to that magic 1,000 numbers so we unlock some more stuff on YouTube. Hit the like button if you liked it. Hit the dislike button if you thought I was shit. But other than that, have a wonderful rest of your week. Remember to check out the hobby video on Thursday where I bore the shit out of everybody talking about the difference between paints. And yeah. Cheers, guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.